Hey everyone, it's me, Ivona Emil Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, also known as Silver Moon Counseling. And I'm here to share with you the energy, the astrological energy that we're dealing with, because it is some pretty powerful, intense energy that we're having to work through. But first, let me show you what I just got in. Look, isn't this cool? It's the Jedi Path. I know it's the initiate's like manual for a Jedi. Okay. Now I have been going down this Jedi, rabbit hole the last few weeks, but I remember I was like 7 years old when I first went and saw in 1977 the first Star Wars movie. So I have been a super, super, Star Wars freak ever since then. But I am so excited to get this. Talks about like the pillars of what a Jedi path would be like the first pillar, okay, the second pillar, joining a clan, the pillar of knowledge. Okay, it talks about like your lightsaber. I mean, this is so cool. Look at this. I know, I'm so excited. Isn't that awesome? Okay. Anyhow, why am I showing this to you? Because Star Wars, I mean, the theme of Star Wars is about these two big opposing forces, right? And that's really what's happening right now. That we've got a lot of opposing forces that we're having to mitigate, that energy that we're having to mitigate. So let me show you the chart and let me show you the energy that we're having to work through and see if it resonates with you, because I've already gotten, clients and friends calling and saying, hey, what the heck is going on with the stars? Okay, so this is set for July 20th. All right, so this is July 20th, 2023. I have to add that in there, July 20th. And so look this energy has been slowly, moving up to this point. So we have the two malefics. Here's Mars in Virgo opposing Saturn retrograde in Cancer. These are the two malefic forces opposing each other. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and add something to that, on the 20th, which this is the day of the chart. The moon activates this energy on the 20th. Now, these two forces have been very slowly moving towards each other the last few weeks. And so now we have this exact alignment that happens, and the moon just agitates that. It just activates all of this energy. Then we also have the sun in Cancer and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. They're opposing each other. So if you notice, we have this energy here. Okay, let me just double check. But look what's happening with the energy. We have these cross-purpose energies that are happening. I mean, that does not look very pleasant. Okay, that's a big old X. That means energy is not going anywhere. All right, so we're going to talk about that. And then something pretty big is happening. We have Venus in Leo is stationing to turn retrograde until September 3rd, and then it moves direct and it doesn't leave Leo until October 7th, I believe. So this is definitely some very, very powerful forces that are working cross purposes. So let's try to figure out what this actually means. So today, I'm going to use a little bit of visuals. I am going to use the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle. I love this oracle. So let me show you what's going on. Let's start with Mars and Saturn, okay? Ta-da! I feel awesome. Look at this. Look at the Saturn. Like that's cold. That's intentional. That's purposeful, right? Like he's strong, but he's not going to move anytime soon. And here we have the god of war. Here we have Mars. Mars is action. Look at that red. Okay, even look at the headdress. It's like ready to go. It's fluid, right? Look at his headdress is like moving. So now we have these two opposing forces. Okay, we have Mars. It's impulsive. It's action oriented. It wants movement forward. It's motivational. It creates conflict. It likes to, create a sense of action. Okay, whether it's action in motivation or action in stress, it doesn't matter. It likes to express itself. It's fire. It's about burning it all down. Here we have Saturn. Saturn is cold and dry, and it's not moving anywhere. Okay, Saturn is about purpose. It's about intention. It's about rules. It's about structure, foundation. So this is a very thoughtful not risk-taking energy, risk-taking energy, movement energy, not movement energy. So we have these two forces pulling against each other. And these two are known as the malefic planets because they tend to be more challenging in their energy. Their energy presents sometimes more challenges to work through. So now we have these two forces of wanting to move forward, wanting to express outwardly, and standing still and expressing internally. So if you know anybody that has a lot of Mars energy in their chart, they're probably pretty impulsive. They may come across as selfish because they act on their own accord. There's that heat that comes, that fieriness. There's might be spewing of energy that happens. And then you have Saturn. That energy is more internalized. It's more sullen. If you know somebody with, a strong Saturn placement in their chart, they tend to be more melancholy. They tend to be, more slow to act and to change. So we have these two forces that are happening, and they're uncompromising forces. When these two planets get together, you are going to see energy that is uncompromising. Both tend to want to get their own way, so to speak. So now let's move on to the other forces that are happening, and look at these. Here's the sun. Okay, the sun is action, the sun is movement, the sun is brightness, being seen. The sun in the chart represents how you use your energy, those personal tendencies that we have, that we use to get through life. But collectively, it's about the collective expression of that energy, of what's happening. And here we have Pluto. Okay, look at that. Wow, that is power, isn't it? Like, that's just transformative. This is cold and dark, and this is, heat and active and seen. So now again, we have these two powerful forces, right? Pluto is about control. It's about power. It's about force. It wants to transform. And it's not a gentle transformation. It's not like a gentle, like, hey, we should probably change. No, Pluto comes in and is like, boom, you're changing whether you like it or not. And the sun is the energy. Okay. So when these two forces get together, there's like this tug of war that happens between that external movement and expression, and Pluto coming in and saying it's about power and control. So what does this all mean? Okay, let's kind of take a step back and let's take a look at this, because that power and that Pluto and that sun are also very uncompromising energy. So that's really what we're working with here. Okay, just think about it. We have this intensity sitting on the sun, and Pluto can suck the energy out of the sun. So you may be feeling dense, you may be feeling tired, you may be feeling heavy. Okay, the sun comes back, and there's a power behind the sun that says, no, you can't take my light away. So that's where we start to get into that tug of war, that pull. Okay, Mars, right? Mars is action and heat and activation. Here we have Saturn, and it's like, no, we're going to be dry and cold. And so all of this energy, and I keep using the word uncompromising, that's what it is. It's like these forces are pulling, very different forces are pulling against each other. And I don't know if you have ever seen, Star Wars Episode 3, there's that battle at the very end where I'm not going to ruin it for you if you haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? Anyways, so we have this battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? And Obi-Wan is like trying to push, Anakin, with the Force, and Anakin returns. And now we see that Anakin is, just as strong as his master. And so there's these two forces. And just think about this. Oh my gosh, this just occurred to me. Let me pull this up. So here we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, okay, very practical, very rule-oriented. We got to do the right thing. And here's Anakin, right? Anakin is like, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm just going to go on. I'm going to be impulsive, and I'm going to get myself in trouble, and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to say whatever I want to say. And this is about thing. No, you can't go against the Jedi Force. Like the Jedi rules, we can't do that. Yes, we can. I can do it my way. That's the energy that we're dealing with. I don't know. I hope you understood that. Okay. All right. So what does this mean, right? This means that right now we're probably going to see more conflict. People are going to dig their heels in. Some people are going to want to act very impulsively, and maybe they can't. Maybe there's a force or a system or their job or their spouse or a responsibility of some sort that doesn't let them, act out. Maybe you're coming across people that are not very honest right now. Maybe there's some sneaky, underhanded things that are going on with Pluto and the sun. Pluto is underhanded stuff. Okay. There might be some manipulation going on, maybe some, untruths that are being spewed out there and that are not necessarily true. And all of this creates conflict. So this is cross-purpose energy that we're dealing with. So don't be surprised if you feel, like you're just not getting anywhere, like maybe you're spinning your wheels. Okay. But also keep in mind, you might be the impulsive one, right? Somebody may be intentionally trying to, hold you back, but maybe it's not always a bad thing. Maybe it's about taking the time to pause before you take action, right? And if you're a person that's very, pause oriented and doesn't want to move, okay, maybe that Mars is lighting a fire, for you so that you can moving forward, right? Pluto is also about transforming. So maybe you're expending your energy in a way that maybe you shouldn't be, okay? I don't know. So it's a lot of cross-purpose energy, as I mentioned. And so that need for conflict, that need to resolve, that need to get your, how do I say it? Your own intentions. There we go. Your own intentions to come across. Okay. So don't be surprised if you feel like you're not getting along with the people that you may usually get along with, which brings me to Venus. And here we have Venus. We didn't forget about Venus. Okay, here it is. Oh, is she beautiful? Okay, Venus represents love. It represents relationships. It represents, affection and beauty and aesthetics. Okay, and Venus in Leo is very much about herself. Okay, Leo energy is very much about itself. It likes to shine. It likes to be valued. It likes to be, paid attention to. It likes to be in the spotlight. All right. I don't know if I said that already, but so Venus really enjoys being in the spotlight. Now, what happens when Venus is not in the spotlight? In Leo. Leo is a fire energy. Oh my. If Venus doesn't feel loved and appreciated, she is going to create some massive drama. I do some crazy massive drama. So we have this Venus turning retrograde today. She's stationed to turn retrograde, which means that there's going to be that energy isn't going to be quite working well. So if she doesn't feel valued and appreciated, she is going to throw a tantrum. Okay. And it's probably not going to be a nice tantrum. It might be one of those tantrums to get your attention where you're like, really? You're not going to pay attention to me? Fine. You're going to come home and find all your clothes outside in the middle of the lawn. That kind of drama. I've never done that. Maybe. Anyhow, so this is the energy that we're working with, right? So Venus is going to be, transiting Leo retrograde until September the 3rd, and then she starts to move direct and won't leave until December, until October 7th, as I previously said. All right, so now we put this all together, right? This uncompromising, energy, this cross-purpose energy, this more difficult energy to get things done because it's almost like a stalemate between these forces. Yeah, it could show up in your relationships for sure. So you may experience conflict in your relationships. You may experience disagreements that you usually would very easily work through. It's like all of a sudden your partner's like really, really stubborn, and usually they're like not. Okay. You may find that people around you may be in disagreement. Somebody may do something that, is either intentional or unintentionally trying to manipulate you or control you, or just just not nice moves. Okay. So yeah. It's all good. How do we get through this? Well, recognize if you're being stubborn, right? Recognize that if you're being impulsive, if you're more impulsive in nature, take time to kind of stop and breathe before you feel agitated and, feel that need for assertion and aggression. If you're digging your heels in, if you're too stubborn, you recognize why you're being inflexible. Okay. Maybe there's, what's keeping you from doing that? Is it a fear? Is it anxiety? Is it, you think you know better? All right, whatever it is. But if you want your relationships to work out as smoothly as possible from now until like October 7th, okay, I suggest that you take a step back and recognize if you're the one being dramatic, and or if you are unintentionally creating drama for yourself, or if you're living in drama and you don't need to, right? Like sometimes we get caught up in this toxic energy and we don't need to be a part of that. So we need some space from that. That's kind of the energy that we are going to be, dealing with here. But the good news is that it does start to dissipate, okay, this week. And it starts to become less and less and less for that opposition, the cross-purpose energy. Venus retrograde will be, around until the September 7th. So that one is a little bit, longer that we have to deal with. But because she's stationing today, this is kind of the theme energy that she's going to be working with for this retrograde. Okay. I'm done. That's it. If you want to learn more about your astrology, you can find me at silvermooncounseling.org. That is silvermooncounseling.org. I am going to go and read my book because I'm super excited. I could swear, like in a past life, I was like a Jedi for sure. Come on. How many of you really, really wanted to be a Jedi? Come on, like be honest. All right, everyone. That is it. Take care, stay out of the heat, and may the force be with you. I always wanted to say that. Bye.